Now, if I recall, last fall, you got to meet and spend some time with Chinese Vice Premier Li Ho. Now, the fact that he is so integral into the possible negotiation and solution to the U.S. trade issues, and now, of course, we seem to have a bit of a standoff. Maybe you could weigh in with some of your insights, Jeb.
Well, I had the honor of leading a bipartisan congressional delegation in the fall. I was told by the State Department at the time it was unusual to have the vice premier meet with a congressional delegation, which clearly indicated they take this trade issue very seriously. Now, the vice premier held his cards close to his vest, but the takeaways were, number one, that China took this seriously, that they were concerned that America did not want to see them rise, and that they adhered to the WTO. The message we delivered at the time is, guess what? Regardless of what happens in our elections, both Republicans and Democrats are unified that China was not living up to the WTO in spirit and in letter. And we were happy for China to rise, but not at the expense of taking our intellectual property and technology. And so here we are a number of months later. And I guess what I would say is, last week it was a little early to break out the champagne. I think this week it may be a little early to be on suicide watch. I still think clearly it's in both countries' interest to reach an agreement. I think the probabilities still favor that. It's not the first time the president has threatened tariffs. I'm not here really to speak on the negotiating strategy, whether that was good or bad. Clearly, I think the timetable has been set back. And I think the question, Rick, is at the end of the day, do you end up with no deal, which is clearly in nobody's interest? Do you end up with a good deal, a better deal, or a best deal? A good deal is that we have some schedule to get rid of the tariffs and maybe the Chinese buy some more semiconductors and soybeans. A much better
Jeb,
deal.
let me interrupt you just 1 second. We have about 40 seconds. I want to go real quick. I guess my other issue is, I hate to say that this is part of the Trump negotiation process, but there are large swaths of the country that are virtually blacked out by some of these issues. So very quickly, do you think, if you had to guess, that we are still close? Or do you think that there are issues of enforcement that are the sticking points, and this is a bit of a way to get closer to a solution?
Well, I still think that there are issues that have to be resolved with respect to verification. I mean, I have a paperweight on my desk, the old Reagan quote, trust but verify. And that's always been at the heart of the matter. How are we going to be able to verify that the Chinese are keeping good
on their
commitments?
We have a hard wrap, Jeb, and that is the key, verification. I want you to come back as we learn more as the week progresses. Thank you for joining me.